The Pixel 6a, after more than a week of use. This is kind of my full review of the device. Price $449. Link will be in the description. I am recommending the Best Buy link at this point because apparently those Google Store trade-in offers, the outsized trade-in offers, were for a pre-order and they've kind of come back down to earth. But I just checked. If you go there as of today, August the 5th, the Best Buy the Best Buy bonus, rather, the $50 gift card is still active. So if you're looking to pick this up, $449, but then you get the $50, so you can kind of take that off. There's $399 in effect if you're able to pick up a couple of other things from Best Buy. I've seen a lot of noise about this phone, and a lot of it aggravates me. And I want to tell you, when we did the initial impressions and first review of this device, I said that I thought Google was going for a device that could be the Android equivalent of the iPhone SE. It could be for people who just want a phone, but perhaps they're not iPhone people, they're not Apple people. For whatever reason, they want to try Android. They're excited about what the customizability that Android provides, that this could be the answer for them on the Android side. And I absolutely, now having used it, believe that's the case. You're going to get the performance that you'd expect at a high level for years to come. You're going to have the software support that you'd expect in a device like that. This is absolutely the Android equivalent of the iPhone. Set it and forget it. You pick up this phone because you want a phone that's going to work, that's going to be supported, and it's going to have the same quality experience that it does today, 3 years from now. That's the Google Pixel 6a. And I'm the first one to get on Google when there's a problem. Trust me. When they screw something up, I'm the first one there to call them out. But they've finally gotten some sort of a coherent strategy when it comes to their cell phone line, and there's something to be said for that. I thought the 5A wasn't worth the money. To me, it wasn't worth the money. It was the older processor. It was a less of a build. It wasn't something that was going to survive X amount of years into the future at a high level, especially when the competition was offering a bit more when you start getting into $449. But now at $449, to have a Tensor in here, to have as snappy a performance as you do in this phone, like the iPhone SE, putting the A15 in there, this is something that gives you a little bit extra. And I don't want to hear about 60 hertz. I don't want a single comment about 60 hertz, because I'll tell you what, go ahead, go out there and buy another device that has a 90 hertz, has a 120 hertz display, because when you get under $500, you don't get every feature. Not every device is going to be for every person. You can't get every feature. That's a flagship, and there's a cost to that. They're out there, $1,000. If you really want everything for whatever, go ahead, save up, and get yourself a flagship. And then you don't have to worry about missing any features in particular. But when you talk about devices in the $500 to $400 range, it's like those stupid things on Facebook, right? Or you got $10 to build your perfect PC. You got $10 to build your perfect phone. Well, okay, there's going to be devices out there that put $4 towards the screen, but that only leaves you $6 for the rest of the experience. That doesn't cut it. So where's it going to come from? A lot of times it comes from the RAM. A lot of times it comes from the fact that they give you an LCD instead of an OLED. And most of the time, it comes from the power plant of the phone. It comes from the processor. So it already nerfs the experience right off the bat at the expense of something that, for the most part, for general consumers who just want a phone, it's not going to matter. I don't like hearing these people that say, oh, it's unbearable. Oh, 60 hertz is unbearable. It annoys me because I don't want general consumers to watch reviews and get it in their head, well, oh, okay, there's something wrong with this phone. It doesn't have this one thing that people keep crowing about, so obviously that's a big deal, so I'm going to look elsewhere, not realizing what they give up for a spec that, for the most part, if they just need a phone, doesn't matter. You're picking up so much more here. Okay, so the display is maybe $2 in that scenario, but the processor and performance is $4. And when you're looking at a device to be comparable with an iPhone SE, to be that general consumer device, which they're going for with this, with the form factor, with the size of the display, with the way they market it, that's something that's important, because you want that user experience to be the same, to be excellent, to have the 4 and 5 years of support, and for it to be able to handle the new features that go into Android each year, because you have a Tensor chip in this device. And the performance has been fantastic. The only things that have held back the performance of the device have been Android 12, which my I can't even call it a love-hate relationship. My hate relationship with Android 12 is well documented on this channel. I think it stinks. But Android 13 and the beta are fantastic. So I know the direction that this device is going on. And once this thing gets Android 13, you're not going to notice any step down from your Pixel 6. I had just come from using the Pixel 6 at 90 hertz. And I can tell you, if you turn animations off, you're not going to notice that difference. You're not. It's that fast. It's that smooth. It's that snappy. It's an absolute fantastic experience across the whole range of things that you're going to want to do because of Tensor. A lot of times when you get 120 hertz panel on here, yeah, okay, oh sure, it's smooth through the animations, and maybe they're able to get some of those lower cost processors to look smooth through the menus and scrolling Twitter, but you're not getting it through every application that you want to run. Are you a gamer? Well, guess what? Tensor's going to be fine. I don't think the budget phone that made a decision to have a better refresh rate on the display is going to get that performance, but this one does for a few years in advance. Absolutely fantastic. Love this. Pick it up. Don't listen to anything. This is the perfect balance between the iPhone SE, which nerfed a little bit too much as far as the body design is concerned. They gave you a really old design there, which is fine. I love that device, but they gave you all the power, and the Samsung A53 5G, which way nerfed the performance. Absolutely horrible, that Exynos processor that they put in that device, but they gave you a beautiful OLED, and they gave it to you at 120 hertz, right? So that's supposedly supposed to cure all, but I think the Pixel 6a struck that perfect balance, and having used it now for over a week, I could tell you this is a phenomenal experience for the money. And when you consider a lot of the other nonsense that you bring into play when you talk about other manufacturers like Samsung with One UI at the budget level, like, listen, I love OnePlus. I love the OnePlus Nord N20, but I couldn't tell you what OnePlus's strategy is from one day to the next. I don't know what their OS strategy is. Is it going to get 13? Are they staying on 11? Are they going to upgrade it to 12, which they said stinks? We know what the roadmap is here with the Google Pixel. And for all the time that they spent lost in the wilderness, you have to think that at some point they finally learned that you have to provide either one or the other. You can't nerf the outer experience like the screen and that stuff and nerf the processor and just rely on the camera and say, oh, it's the best camera in the market. There you go. Give us $500. That doesn't work anymore. You have to give more. And you have to give some credit for a company that realizes and recognizes that and goes out and does it. This feels fantastic in the hand. The battery life is good enough. A lot of people complain about the charging speeds. Let me tell you something. I was at 43% earlier today. I'd forgotten to charge it overnight last night. Put it on the charger. I was at 43%. I got 34% in a matter of less than 30 minutes. And another 40 minutes that the thing would be fully charged. And the last bit charges slower anyway. So I really didn't see an issue there. And if you're somebody who's buying this device, you're not a hardcore user. Maybe you are, and that's fine. And plenty of people will be able to enjoy that because of that Tensor. So you can have a bit of a hardcore enthusiast experience on a device like this because of the power it provides at that price point. But for the most part, for the daily use of the general consumer that's going to be having this device and looking at something in this price range that just wants an Android device, this will get the job done. 5.5, 6 hours. A lot of people are getting more. I never get what other people get on devices. I always get less, because whether it's the 5G experience in my area, whether it's the signal, I have no idea what it is, but I always get less. And then there's the camera, which I'll show you these shots. I understand it's only the 12 megapixel. It's the older lens that they had been using for X amount of time, the older sensor rather. Works just fine. It's going to be a phenomenal experience on the camera. It's going to be that Google experience because a lot of that happens on the back end anyway. And with Tensor, you're getting all that power and the computational photography. Fantastic, I think. It's just an overall great experience. And without a lot of the question marks that you usually get sub $500. It's the Android equivalent of the iPhone SE. The iPhone SE has zero question marks. It's one of those devices that your grandma can have, your mom can have, or you can have, and you'll all get something out of it because you just buy it and you know it's going to work. This is that on the Android side. You just buy it and you know it's going to work. and it's been a fantastic experience so far. And as long as they keep with the direction on Android 13 that they have so far, and maybe they finally figured out software as well. And if they could figure out both hardware and software with the pixel extras that they add in, they got something there. They have something there. And I really hope that they do that, because as we know with Google, they have a habit of sometimes, when they think they're figuring it out, they fumble it. But if they keep on this track here, they're in good shape. Don't miss it. Don't pass it up because you think, oh, it doesn't have something. Oh, everybody keeps crowing about this thing. It doesn't have the 90 hertz. Is it going to burn my retinas? No. It's fine. It's a great display, and turn off animations. It's going to be so snappy you're not even going to notice. Not that I'm frustrated about the comments about the hertz on the display. Anyway, if you're just somebody who's going out to your Best Buy, if you're going out to your AT&T store, you're going out to your Verizon store, and you see this in the store, don't have any questions about it. You're fine. Go ahead and pick it up. You'll like it. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.